So I've been watching. Uh, well, okay, I said this last time too, but I've been listening. Watching is just not the right word because I don't really watch. I've been listening to Game Grumps. You know, the popular Let's Play channel. I don't really need to plug them. They are popular enough that I don't need to really give them a name drop. That's not gonna do anything. But Game Grumps, the Paper Mario playthrough. It's not new. You know, I think they finished it a while ago, but I've been kind of catching up on it. The Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, or as the cool kids call it, the PMTTYD, uh, and it's that's a game that I've wanted to play for a long time, but I don't have a GameCube. I've never had a GameCube. And I know like emulators are out there, and believe me, I did actually try to get like an emulator going with that, but I played for a little bit and I'm like, you know what, this just doesn't feel right. Not for like any ethical reasons. I know that's another thing about emulators because I don't own it, and it is actually piracy by doing that. So I am admitting something here. Maybe I shouldn't, but okay. Uh, so yeah, I did try that. It just didn't feel right. Not really for ethical reasons, but it's like the gameplay, just the sensation was not right. Like I'd rather play that because I was playing that on an Xbox One controller connected to my PC. It's like no, if I'm gonna play this, I want to play it with like a GameCube controller and all that. Of course, I could get a GameCube controller and play it on an emulator, but that's not the point. I want to play it on the actual thing, and I don't really want to get a GameCube. It's just like it's an old system. And I don't want to get it right now. Um, all right, so I was talking about GameCube and things. So GameCube is like I talked about earlier how I kind of thought, I don't want to say foresaw because that sounds like I'm bragging about some skill that I don't have. But I kind of saw how Switch was going to be a success and Wii U was not. And GameCube was another one of those that I thought was going to be good. And I think it was overall. I think GameCube was a big success. And despite the fact that it didn't really have any gimmicks. I mean, I know they try to make it like, you can carry it around with a handle, and yeah, it's not really a gimmick. Or maybe it is, but it's not a real gimmick because it wasn't really a thing. It was not at all really portable. But anyway, GameCube was another one of those consoles that I wanted but did not have because mostly because I was too young at the time. Because like I think around the time of the Wii, it was when I was able to buy my own things. When I reached the age that I was able to purchase my own things. But GameCube, I was still too young. I did not have the power to buy anything at will. And my parents wouldn't get me that, so I just never had it. And I actually, frankly, I never asked. Uh, I just didn't. But yeah, GameCube. I know you can still get them, like used ones. I know for a fact that there are a couple local vendors in the area I live in, where they sell like vintage. And maybe calling GameCube vintage is maybe not the right word, but like vintage kind of stuff. Like they sell record labels. Is that what you call them? Records? Yeah. Yeah, so records, they sell records and old consoles, and I know that they have GameCubes, but I'm not really interested in purchasing those. I did consider it for a little while. I'm like, it's dirt cheap now, and I'm sure I can get they may actually have the game too in their stock, but even if they don't, I'm sure I can get the game really cheap somewhere too. It doesn't really matter. And I also even considered maybe like modding the hardware to see maybe if I can run like a Raspberry Pi on it, like the Retro Pi or whatever they're called. So I kind of looked into that too, but turns out the Retro Pi the Raspberry Pi in itself is, I guess, it's not capable of running GameCube games, the hardware, because you know Raspberry Pi has big limits on what it can do. I think the best it can do in terms of Nintendo timeline is Super Nintendo. I don't think I've read that it has problems running N64 stuff too. So yeah, no way they can run GameCube. I've heard some stories that some people have been successful, but you know what? If the majority opinion is, it looks like, is that no way GameCube on RetroPie. So yeah, that's not happening either, because I like the hardware design of the GameCube. I like the cube. It's nice and fun looking. So I did consider that, but no, that's not going to happen. So really, you know what? I'm too lazy. So really, all I have left now is, you know, either emulate, which I'm not really too fond of doing, or really my big hope right now, with no reason to hope on such a thing, is that I want a Virtual Console officially licensed by Nintendo to come out for the Switch. I'm sorry about that. That's I don't know if that's gonna happen. I know the Wii U had a Virtual Console. Okay, hold on. Let me just look up another gift job. Oh, that's really far. That is really far. I don't want to do that. That is really far. This one's pretty close, but 570. Okay, hold on. Let me just take a quick look at the. What is the minimum distance? Over 240. So I think that is over 240. I think that's perfect. It's still within Great Britain. External contracts. Okay, well that's actually another fun one, going to Paris. Because the one within Great Britain is fine, but you know what? Let's go to Paris. I want to get out of the UK. UK sucks. In the game, I mean. Where was I? Oh yeah, so Virtual Console. I know that was a thing in the Wii U, and they had a lot of like classic games available, officially licensed, and basically emulated on the Wii U. And like I said before, I don't have the Wii U. I've never had the Wii U. Let me just quickly mark these maps here before I take the job. So yeah, I never got to really experience the Virtual Console thing. I have a 3DS. I know they have older games on 3DS as well, but that doesn't feel the same. So that's my hope, that Nintendo will do a Virtual Console of GameCube. So that way I can finally play Paper Mario TTYD for the first time, because like I said I was kind of listening to the gameplay, the Let's Play gameplay of Game Grumps playing Paper Mario, and it's mostly Dan playing it. All right, I'm just gonna come out and say it, Danny, man, you're a good guy, but your gameplay in Paper Mario is pretty shitty. I don't think, you know what, I don't think that's a controversial statement. I see the comments. I know you've seen the comments about the hate that you've been getting. I don't think the hate is justified, but I can see why people are annoyed at your gameplay, especially the people who really love that game, because I know it's a really popular, one of the, like, possibly one of the best Paper Mario games, if not the best. So I can see it, but yeah, Danny, man. I know that Let's Play was, I think, like a year ago, so it's not really relevant anymore. But man, yeah, you need to pay attention to the things they tell you in the game. I mean, I say that, but I also, like, the other part of me, understand what happens when you're doing that, because they're recording in different segments. and they don't always play the game in one sitting, and they play different games in between, and so much is going on, and you know, it's, I get it. And like a lot of times when they're playing, they're not really playing, you know, it's more about the chatter between the two of them. So the game is kind of secondary. I get that. I get that. No, Danny, you're good. You're good in my book. You're cool. But man, that Paper Mario play. Anyway, so yeah, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I really want to play that game because it looks fun, and I've heard so many good things about it, and there is absolutely no way that it will come out on the PC, so it's gonna have to be on whatever Nintendo console. I don't want to resort to the GameCube. I want the Switch to have Virtual Console for GameCube games. I've heard of like people wanting HD remake, kind of like the Wind Waker, but I don't really see that happening. I mean, with no particular reason. I just have a feeling that's not going to happen anytime soon. If it happens, great. If I'm wrong, great. I kind of want me to be wrong in this situation. Oh, god damn it. Okay, I'm just trying to mark this placement. Okay. Alright, you know, let's back up. Yeah, so Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I want to try it. Oh god.